Hi Libra. Happy birthday, Libra. All right, welcome to this place. It's called Opal Oracle. If you're new here, welcome back if you're returning. Okay, so Libra, we're just gonna jump right in. We're gonna go old school, and I'm just gonna let it flow till it's done. People that are patient and want to learn can stay. Those who don't, it's cool. I'm cool with people. I'm cool with the leaves falling off the trees as the seasons change, because I know that's making space for new growth, right? So there's something like this sentence came. It was like so I sensed that you had a question about something. Someone had a question in relation to like, when am I supposed to do this, or when will I do this? That feels really good. And I wrote down, by what you're doing now determines when. It determines the timing that you've been asking about. It's like whatever you're already doing that feels really in a line is indicative and determinative to the timing of this other thing in relation to whatever you've been wondering. So it's kind of like what you're doing is the answer to the question. What you're doing is the answer to the question. Let's go over your astrology, because I feel like a lot of you here know astrology. If you don't, pick up what you can. Your brain will naturally do that anyway, right? What we don't know, we can't absorb. Unless we're curious about it, and then we can expand off of that. But let's touch on it for a second. So the first week, there's an air trine. This is very helpful for you. It's Venus, Saturn, and Mars. So Venus talks about love. Venus is in your sign most of this month. Saturn and Venus is about loving and being dedicated to what you love. Saturn is your exaltation. It represents determination and understanding what you're working with. And then Mars is the action to ensure that isn't susceptible to anything else. But I heard it's peacetime, so there's no, I don't feel like there's energy around it where you have to be like overly protective. It's just knowing that you are safe there. This could also be beautiful conversations with men, women, people, your elders, your parents, things like that, old family. Okay, let's move forward. So the second week, that air trine continues. So first week, second week of October is mostly air energy. And in addition, the second week also has a magic carpet. The magic carpet is Jupiter energy, the moon, and then North Node, South Node. So I think you'd want to have a conversation or get things in order. You'll probably will be able to. Mercury's exalted in Virgo right now, so it's putting it in a place where, like, I heard this is already natural to you, putting things in order. It's kind of like laying things on the line without a bunch of, I heard scattered emotion behind it. Are we recording? Yes, okay. And this magic carpet is cool because it can really transport you to another place. But I think if things aren't sort of discussed or settled in some kind of way, then you could kind of get ahead of yourself in a negative way or a more challenging way. The positive could be where that second week could really give you some new insight. And I think that's why you want to, again, put something in order prior to this, or something's already been put in order where it's just time now to, I heard, level up and reach some kind of new space that, again, is going to give a different perspective. And you're not afraid of being that high. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of a reading that was probably 6 years ago now. It was like, Libra, get off your high horse of fear. Okay. Yeah, Mercury's on the ascendant during that second week. So again, that's not only is it in exaltation, but that also is the house of that it rejoices in. So whatever your rising sign is, I feel like you should put Mercury there, and that will give like what kind of conversation you're meant to have, if that makes sense. Okay, third week, there's a water trine. So this week a little bit more emotional. This is Venus, the Moon, and the MC. You also have a minor grand trine, which is very creative, where the IC is the your fourth, fifth house, like the bottom of the map, midnight kind of energy is highlighted. So IC to me is a part of it is being able to, I heard, be magical without knowing it. I think this is also understanding the difference between doing and being. Doing and being. That's a bit of, this solar lunar energy, which I kind of separated for you in a way. It's because this is, again, our doing and our being. They can be in line with one another, but we need to understand what they are individually, Not so that everything's so regulated, there's no flow of imagination and creativity, but there's structure. A question for you this month too, as this is your birthday, for those of you who are Libra sun, happy birthday again. Your first question was, who am I now, in brackets? Who am I now? Perhaps, who am I what am I aspiring to be? What am I aspiring to do? So we have three kind of questions there. I also wrote down long range. So that could be part of the magic carpet, but just in general, you climb Capricorn Mountain, that's the exaltation, that's your environment. And then what does that do? It gives you a 360-degree scope, right? But I see that it's important to look to where you have not been. Interesting. I also sense that as we move forward, especially if you've been feeling, I would say all that Pisces energy is in conjuncting you, so it's a little tricky. The South Node so close to you as well, but I feel like there's this release of resentment or bitterness within a person or a situation, a connection. This could have been very old because it's like in the blood. It could even be like bloodline kind of cleansing. But underneath that, and I heard this specifically, it was like, let's take our time. There's also something about somebody's father's mother. You can go there. And I think once you answer the questions to who am I now, etc., there's something that opens up again, especially if it's been a little foggy, in relation to feeling the little miracles of life again. Where like there's this spark. And I know right now you're getting most of your fire easily from Leo and Sag versus Aries. So what are we talking about? So you're meant to write during the day about what you want to create, or like daytime journaling, unconscious writing, planning, doodle, like it's because it's not just an idea. You're taking an extra step to I heard put something somewhere so that you don't take up so much space in yourself, which gives more of that flow of creativity. I also saw you have such I saw the words royal, but loyal heart. There's a loyal hearts here. Loyal hearts. Okay, so your Nishatara card that you received is Ashvini. It's ruled over by K2 or the South Node, which again has been very close to you for a long time. This is the first one. It's called the Star of Transport. And it's interesting because the symbol for Ashwini is a horse's head, but it's ruled over by the South Node, which is the tail. Usually the North Node is the head, the South Node is the tail. But this star, so there's a so you gain some sort of, a person has gained secret knowledge in themselves, or like unlocked certain riddles. And I feel like they've gone to two extremes about dealing with life. And now a person's finding more of the middle ground. This also is a part of that perspective thing, because I feel like a part of a person's power in a way, or this could be spiritual connection, even sexual energy. It's still happening, but there was something in a person where they felt like they couldn't see how well they were doing. Okay, Ashwini says this. It says, no matter what age or stage of life we are at, we can always access our courageous, adventurous, powerful, and youthful self. It says the Ashwini Kumaras, which are the deities of these stars, are healers and ever youthful. If we are ever struggling with a health issue, Ashwini Kumaras can often quickly resolve it. So maybe some of you are feeling better, or just like getting your energy. See, these horses are kind of like trotting along. It's like you're getting your energy back. That's also Sag. Oh, interesting. Look, it's like Sag and the sun. See the sun? So Leo and Sagittarius again. So these could also be connections or friends of yours. So it says the Ashwinis are also in charge of healing animals and advising us to take good care of and be kind to our pets and our animal friends. Of course, horses are especially indicated here. It says, this being the star of transport, maybe some of you are considering there's some kind of shift. Well, there's a shift happening, but also in the future, right? A year, 2 years, 3 years. So it says, despite being endowed with a lively intelligence, under this influence we may very well have the tendency to be too impulsive or to act too fast. To be a tad immature, perhaps. So I guess if the energy has been a little slow, if you get back on the horsey, someone might be like, cha, 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 cha. I guess it could do that. But that's a little bit of an extreme from 0 to 100, right? You can just start with a nice trot. You know, get warmed up with something. This is interesting because I just saw the Lovers too. It says activities related to healing, health, and fitness are also of an interest. Some of you could be wanting to do something with your body also that's more health oriented. These leaves are reminding me of diet, also what we're taking in. It says to maintain direction, the energy of the star needs to be harnessed, just like a team of horses need to be tamed and tackled before any are of use to help us on our journey. It says overall, this advises us to be spontaneous, to dare to initiate new beginnings, and to eagerly look towards what is ahead of us. Yes. It says our youthful outlook on life will give us a personal charm that will make us popular in company. You're always popular in company anyway. You're likable. It says perhaps something wonderful and exciting has come your way or will come your way. These stars give the ability and the enthusiasm to actively start a new venture. Though the patience to bring a project to completion may be lacking, as patience isn't really Ashwini's thing, maybe that's that Saturn. It says in education we start learning, but holding on long enough to acquire knowledge may not be on the cards. It says this energy can make us compassionate and ask us to act with good morality for the development of our soul. Wow. Okay. We'll take that. All right, Libra. Oh, this isn't your deck. These ones. Oh, did we get into the 4th week? We kind of skipped over that, didn't we? Yeah, we can talk about that while we're shuffling. Back to that 3rd week, there's that water trine. Venus, the moon, the MC. And then a smaller trine, Venus, the moon, the IC. So some way or another, this is bringing power and perhaps freedom, the feeling of freedom. And I wrote flying high, and I saw someone holding the strings. It wasn't just one string, it was 2. It was like you could really, I heard, be articulate with how something was functioning. It's like I heard it's creative control. Someone has creative control, which I guess in essence is creative freedom. So the 4th week, we go back into an air trine, which is Mercury, Saturn, and the moon. It's also the parts of fortune. There's also a water trine between the MC, Venus, and the North Node. That 4th week is pretty big. That's when we're shifting over into Scorpio energy, tropically. So this air and water actually creates a Merkaba. Did we mention that? Which is between these ones here. And that specifically is happening on 10/19 at 8:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, there could also be something about the middle of the week. I saw specifically the 12th of October, where it's like Mercury jumped back. So, which in essence it was jumping forward. So Mercury jumped basically. But a person saw it with their eyes, and it's interesting because usually you can't see Mercury in the sky. It's because it moves so fast. But it's so what are we talking about? So someone saw something that most people didn't see. It was almost like someone can see something that most people can't see. Maybe that means that it was just a message for you, you know. And then it's kind of like, well, what does that mean to me? Venus in your sign, the sun. It's beautiful that that light is coming back into you. I see conversations from the heart. Conversations even about finances, or about like what is important, what feels good, because you want to have that discussion before, and I heard, and handle some things before winter comes, right? Because it always slows down now. Yeah, wisdom. Wisdom. So I heard that someone's here is in a very good position. They have a wealth of actually many things. So I guess it's important to know that when someone looks at you, there's something of your richness, your emotional richness, your mental richness, your spiritual richness. Right, when something is rich, you don't need much of it to recognize that it is good quality. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need much of it to feel full, and that lasts. It lasts. Huh. What are you reaching for right now? Or what's in her hand? I guess I'd like to know. I want to know what's in her hand. Just a second. Even when you are dating, married to somebody else, our top dog at your career, you're the boss at your career, whatever, you have to allocate enough time to dating yourself. I heard regardless of all the other important things in your life. Being alone for you, I guess this is also in this time frame, but being alone for you is so creative and really helps. Like wisdom comes through in those times. You are safe and loved and protected. And we have that with poise. But we also, underneath that, is challenge. So there's some kind of challenge in being poised when I don't think it's a person feeling uncomfortable with themselves. I think a person enjoys their own company now. They like themselves. They love themselves. They appreciate and respect themselves as much as humanly possible. I heard we're all allowed to have fun. But the point is that the challenge in ways of the poise I feel like it's showing me that it's more having to do with feeling okay with not doing anything in those moments. And I heard, everyone's different harmony, right? We all vibe with different music, right? Different frequencies. What is our flow depending on the energy, right? But meditation or what have you, this alone, quiet space, it doesn't have to be sitting. Like I saw someone actually sitting and being intentional in their meditation in a more traditional sense, but I also saw a person just taking a silent day and being a part of their home, right? Home is so important to you. You square Cancer. That is your sanctuary, right? It's where you go to, that's the place you decorate. And your things are and that you decide to create the energy of that where you are, and just spending some time in there, slowly being really intentional, alone. And I'm seeing a person go around a house and like take sort of snapshots like of where they are, and observing that and be like, oh, that's, I heard, oh, that's perfect. Like what an interesting combination. Okay. I guess if you've also been, Saturn's kind of been going through your 5th house, which is, you know, a restrictive energy naturally. So it's, I guess it's been, and will be for a little while longer. And I heard this isn't a bad thing, but like Saturn there could, okay, so we're talking about sex, we're talking about creativity, we're talking about our children and like inner child kind of energy. It's also the house of risk. So let's go over it. Saturn's protecting you from certain kinds of risks. If it's been hard to date people and you're wanting to date people, it's like that rejection is God's protection, right? Like if you're already dating, it's like the sexual energy could be low, but like creative energy could be high. Or it's, if a person's wondering like, when is this going to go to the next step? There's something that we have to wait for in relation to that. So it's almost like if you can't, again, we were talking about a lot of different things there, and there's a lot of energy that comes out of the 5th house. It's all kind of doing energy. So if you can't do in certain areas of your life, try to do in the other areas where it's creative. And I think some of you need to, well, what am I saying? The message is to be honest about, I heard how positively awesome you are. And that you are a creative person. Because I know some of you here are like, I'm not an artist. Like, I just, you know, I work, I'm a secretary of this, or I'm a car mechanic, you know, whatever. It's like, no, dude, I know all of you are so immensely creative. Yeah, that's your power to create. Actually, Jupiter, that Sag and Leo we were talking about, that is in immense amounts of creativity that can come through this space. So maybe a question you want to ask yourself as you're going through your day is, how is this creative? What am I creating right now? I guess that might be a simpler one. What am I creating right now? Because again, that's going to give someone, I felt like a warmth around my heart after we said that, like, and sat with the fact that like we are creating right now all the time. That's powerful, right? Just being aware of that, that's a positive power. 2911. That was 1111. Cool. All right. Maybe that's that. I feel like that's good for now. Though it's your birthday, so I want to give you a little extra. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with being efficient. We've gone over all the notes that I've written down, plus extra. We'll leave it like that. I love you so much. Happiest birthday. Oh my goodness. I love Libra season. It's so beautiful. It's like a season where you can actually see the changes happening. You know, usually we don't notice because it's so slow, but it's like we can see it. All of a sudden it's like, here I am, here I am, here I am. Look, I've changed. Look, I'm doing this now. And then after that, it's like you can see so far, right? So maybe there's something about when the trees sort of do that too. You can hear further, you know, after you can see further. But the wind's stronger then. But I guess so is the light. All right. Peace out, Libra.